Hello, hi everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to Board Brahmastra, and today we are going to solve the sample question paper. This sample paper was provided by NCERT and it was released just 1 week ago. So did you had a time to look at it? Did you guys look at the sample question paper? So out of the science, I'll be only focused on physics questions. So Palak ma'am, she will do the chemistry questions, and Devika ma'am, she will take care of the biology questions. Okay, and I hope the Misbah sir already started with the maths questions. And today I won't be able to speak louder, so this is the maximum voice I can have today. Alright, great. So if you had a chance to look at the sample paper, so there were A, B, C, D and E. These were the 5 sections in the sample question paper. In A, these are all objective questions, and there were how many? 20 questions. Each question was for 1 mark. Section B, these are short answer questions. Right? Short questions or short answer questions. So each question is 2 marks, and there were 6 of such questions. In section C, these are short answer type questions. There were each question is for 3 marks and total question is 7. And later these are mostly competency based questions. So section D, these are long answer type questions, and each question is 5 marks. So there will be some sub questions and the marking will be divided as per the sub question. Okay. Total questions is 3. So 1 for physics, 1 chemistry and 1 biology. And section E, so there is a 4 mark question. They are all case based questions, case study type questions, or these are competency based questions. So each question is 4 mark, total questions 3, again 1 for physics, 1 for chemistry, 1 for biology. Okay, and out of these questions, the objective ones which came for the physics were 5. The 2 mark question, out of 6 there were only 1. These 3 mark question, out of 7 there were 3. 5 mark question, out of 3 1, and 4 mark question, out of 3 1. So total if you add 5 into 1 which is 5, 2 into 1 2, 3 into 3 which is 9, then 5 into 1 which is 5 and 4. So if you add all of this, so is 9 into 9 18 plus 7 which is 25. So 25 marks are for physics, 25 marks for chemistry, 25 marks for biology, and last 5 marks are for environment. So that will be covered by Devika ma'am. Okay. Alright. Hi Naga, Shaina, good evening. Sharmishta, Shivam, Jalal, Zebrek, okay, nice. Ayush, good evening everyone. So let's solve the questions from the section A. So these are objective type questions. Let's understand. So the objective questions, usually we feel the questions are going to be very easy. Questions are easy, just that they are going to be tricky. So don't get confused anywhere. Read the question properly and then you can answer. So now this is a question, this is an objective type, so there are options. Okay, so I'll read the question. The circuit below, it consists of variable resistor. So for example this one, it is a variable resistor. Okay, the other two, their resistance value is fixed. Only the first one, it is variable. So now they are all connected in series. Let's just call this as, let's suppose there is some RV which is a variable resistance, then this one would be, let's say, R1 and this R2. Okay, I just give the marking so that we can solve the questions. Alright, so the variable resistor can take any value between 0 and 4000 ohms. It can choose any value and all of them are in series. So do you know the series resistance value? R series is going to be RV plus R1 plus R2. Okay. So there is a series resistance value. So now there is a battery which is producing 12 volt. So because of this battery, current will flow through this circuit, something like this, and the same amount of current will pass through each of them. The same current will pass through each of the resistor. So now, do you know the total current can be calculated by total voltage provided by battery divided by Rs. There is an equivalent resistance value for the 3 resistors. Okay. So now the resistance of the variable resistor is changed. So what is the smallest possible reading of the voltmeter? So you see here there is a voltmeter. So this voltmeter measures the potential difference across this resistance. Okay. So voltmeter will measure the potential difference. So what is the smallest value possible? So the potential difference V across R1, V across this R1. Okay, I'll write down complete so that you won't get confused. V measured across R1 will be given by the total current which is flowing through this circuit multiplied by R1. This from the Ohm's law. Do you know Ohm's law? V is equal to IR. So this is how we calculate. Now just substitute this value of I. So what is I? I is V divided by Rs multiplied by R1. Okay. So there is a potential difference measured by the voltmeter. So we want minimum value. So here in this equation, the voltage is 12 volt, R1 is 2000 ohm. So let's just substitute that. It is 12 volt multiplied by R1 is 2000 ohms. This is divided by Rs. Okay. So we want the minimum value of the voltmeter. So if you want minimum V across R1, so because if you want this to be minimum, the Rs should be maximum. Rs should be maximum. So what is Rs? It is this R1 plus R2 plus RV. So when the Rs is going to be maximum, if the RV is going to be maximum, correct? So let's calculate the value of Rs. Rs is going to be RV, the maximum value of the variable resistance, which is 4000 ohms plus R1, which is 2000 plus R2, which is 2000. So this will come out to be 4 plus 4, which is 8000 ohms. Okay. So there is a total value of the Rs. So just substitute this value here. So the voltage across R1 is going to be, do I have some space here? No, I don't have. Okay. I'll try to write here. So voltage measured by the voltmeter. So this is going to be 12 volt multiplied by 2000 ohms divided by Rs value, and Rs value is 8000 ohms. So this ohm will get cancelled. 2000 by 8000 is nothing but 1 by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is going to be 3 volt. So the minimum value of the voltmeter would be given by 3 volt. That would be the minimum value measured by the voltmeter. Okay. Zebrek, it is going to be 3 volt. And do you know what is the maximum value? So if you want this to be maximum, okay, I'll tell you what is happening. The total voltage 12 volt, it is getting distributed here, correct? So some of the portion, some of the voltage would be across R2, some voltage will be across R1, and some voltage would be across RV, which is a variable resistor. If you want this to be minimum, this RV should be maximum. Then the voltage across RV is going to be maximum. Okay. If you want this value measured by the voltmeter maximum, then there should not be any potential drop across the RV. if you do not want any potential drop across RV, the resistance of the variable resistor should be 0 in that case. Then this voltage would be maximum. Understood now? Okay, so there is a first question from the physics topic. The second one, the frequency of AC is alternating current. In some countries, it is 60 hertz. This is a frequency of the AC. So what does it mean? It means, let's suppose there is a power station and there is, let's say, house. So they are connected by the cables, and this AC alternating current, it has frequency of 60 hertz. So that means, do you know what is 60 hertz? Frequency is equal to 60 hertz. That means in 1 second, this AC completes 60 oscillations. So now what is one oscillation? If let's say any particle starting from here goes to one end and come back, there is a one oscillation. Correct? There is a one oscillation. So now if it is 60 hertz, the current will go from the power station to our houses 60 times, and from our house to the power station 60 times. So how many times current changes the direction? So the answers are, current changes the direction 60 times, 120 times, after every 60 seconds, after every 120 seconds. So which one is correct? Option C is correct? No. The correct answer is option number B. The current changes the direction 120 times. Why? 60 times current is going from power station to our house. 60 times it is going from our house to the power station. So the total number of time current changes direction is going to be 120 times. Clear now? Understood? Shaina Chandupa Shekhar, is it clear? Jalal, Shivam. Okay, great. So let's go to the next question. So Raman wants to draw a graph to show how the resistivity of a wire changes with the length of the wire. Okay, how the resistivity changes. So now, do you know what is resistivity? Resistivity is going to be material property. So rho is the material property. So the resistivity does not change with length of the conductor or area of cross section. Speak in Hindi? Okay, I'll try. Okay, तो थोड़ा थोड़ा मैं हिंदी में बात करने की कोशिश करता हूँ. तो रेजिस्टिविटी क्या होती है? रेजिस्टिविटी एक मटेरियल प्रॉपर्टी होती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आपने एक मटेरियल ले लिया एल्यूमिनियम, तो द रेजिस्टिविटी जो एल्यूमिनियम की है वो हमेशा कांस्टेंट रहेगी, है ना. आप यू कैन टेक लॉन्गर लेंथ ऑफ द एल्यूमिनियम और स्मॉलर, तो लेंथ के ऊपर रेजिस्टिविटी डिपेंड नहीं करती. तो ये चार ग्राफ यहां पे दिया है. दिस इज अ रेजिस्टिविटी वर्सेस लेंथ. तो रेजिस्टिविटी चेंज नहीं होने वाली. यहां पहले ग्राफ में इट इज इंक्रीजिंग, मतलब जैसे जैसे लेंथ बढ़ती है रेजिस्टिविटी इज इंक्रीजिंग. इज दिस करेक्ट? नो. द सेकेंड वन, एट अ फिक्स्ड लेंथ, लेट्स सपोज इस लेंथ पे रेजिस्टिविटी चेंज हो रही है, बट इफ यू इंक्रीज द लेंथ देयर इज नो ऑप्शन, सो देयर इज नॉट करेक्ट. यहां पे जैसे आप लेंथ बढ़ाओगे रेजिस्टिविटी कम हो रही है, देयर इज ऑल्सो नॉट करेक्ट. लास्ट वन, यू कैन इंक्रीज द लेंथ, आप लेंथ बढ़ाते जा रहे हो बट रेजिस्टिविटी की वैल्यू जो है इट इज फिक्स्ड. रेजिस्टिविटी वैल्यू डू नॉट चेंज विद द लेंथ. सो ऑप्शन नंबर डी इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. समझ में आ रहा है? यू आर स्कैर्ड? This year's board paper going to be hard. No, Adi. You see, मतलब बहुत सारे बच्चों ने मुझे बोला कि सर सैम्पल पेपर तो बहुत डिफिकल्ट आया है। तो मैंने बोला कि भाई अगर सैम्पल पेपर अगर इजी दे दिया तुम लोगों को तो तुम लोग तो सारे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर दोगे, एंड इफ यू कैन सॉल्व ऑल द क्वेश्चन यू गेट द फीलिंग राइट कि यार मेरे से तो सब कुछ सॉल्व हो रहा है। सो यू विल गो ऑन हॉलीडे, गो ऑन वेकेशन, दैट इज नॉट गुड। So sample paper is difficult, I agree. That is because they want you to think, apply your knowledge, apply your brain. तो यहाँ पे जो लोग रट्टा मार के आ रहे हो ना, रॉट लर्निंग जो कर रहे हो, तो that is not going to be useful. रट्टा नहीं मारना है आपको, है ना? तो रट्टा मार के मत आओ, और जो बेसिक्स या कंसेप्ट जो है उस पे आपका ज्यादा फोकस होना चाहिए। कंसेप्ट सारे अगर क्लियर हो तो आप आराम से पेपर सॉल्व कर सकते हो। और एक चीज मैं बताना चाहता हूं, कल देविका मैम ने भी बोला था कि जैसे अगर कोई एग्जाम पेपर डिफिकल्ट आता है ना तो उसका जो मार्किंग होती है वो बहुत लीनियंट हो जाती है, बहुत आराम से नंबर्स दे देते हैं लोग, क्योंकि सिर्फ आपके लिए डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, पूरे जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स अपीयर कर रहे हैं एग्जाम सबके लिए डिफिकल्ट होगा, है ना? तो कोशिश क्या होगी एग्जामिनर की कि आपको भर भर के नंबर्स दे। अगर क्वेश्चन इजी आ गया तो सबके लिए इजी होगा, तो उस टाइम पे जो चेकिंग होती है ना क्वेश्चंस की वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाती है, मतलब इजीली नंबर्स देते नहीं है एग्जामिनर। तो ये याद रखो, तो मतलब टेंशन नहीं लेने का, क्वेश्चन पेपर डिफिकल्ट आया इजी आया, डिफिकल्ट आया सबके लिए डिफिकल्ट है, इजी आया सबके लिए इजी होगा, है ना? व्हाट इज द प्रॉपर वे टू रिवाइज द सब्जेक्ट? प्रॉपर वे टू रिवाइज, अभी देखो आप लोग है ना, मतलब देखो कि कौन सा आपका सब्जेक्ट वीक है, कौन सा सब्जेक्ट मतलब लाइक ऑलमोस्ट 80% 90% अभी तक हो चुका है आपका। तो जो लाइक यू स्टिल हैव 7 और 15 मोर डेज कि आपका एग्जाम स्टार्ट होगा, तो उस नेक्स्ट 7 डेज में आप ट्राई करना जो टॉपिक्स एकदम ही आपने छोड़ दिए ना, एटलीस्ट नेक्स्ट 7 डेज में वो कर लो, या फिर प्लान बनाओ, एक प्रॉपर प्लान बनाओ कि आज लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल 2 फरवरी को आप इंग्लिश में से ये 2 चैप्टर्स पढ़ोगे, साइंस में से ये 2 चैप्टर्स पढ़ोगे, या मैथ्स में से सम पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक्स यू आर गोइंग टू कवर। अभी बैठ के पूरे नेक्स्ट 10 दिन का प्लान बनाओ आप, और जब भी प्लान बनाते हो ना, प्लान के हिसाब से कभी फॉलो नहीं होता है, पर फिर भी प्लान बनाना चाहिए, क्योंकि अगर प्लान बनाओगे ना आप अगले 10 दिन का, और कोशिश करो जितना हो सके उस प्लान को स्टिक करना। तो जो छूट गया उसको छोड़ दो। जो मान लो फिजिक्स का एक टॉपिक है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, एंड यू डिडंट गेट टाइम टू रिवाइज, तो उसको छोड़ दो, पर आपका जो शेड्यूल है वो फॉलो करते रहो। तो उसके बाद अगले और 5 दिन मिलेंगे, उस 5 दिन में आप जो छूटा है ना, रिवाइज दैट अगेन। ओके, सो दिस इज द प्रॉपर वे। सौरव, राइट नाउ प्लान फॉर नेक्स्ट 10 days हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू स्टडी फॉर द नेक्स्ट 10 days। सारे सब्जेक्ट, ऐसा नहीं सिर्फ साइंस और मैथ्स आपको पढ़ना है, सारे सब्जेक्ट पढ़ने हैं, एसएसटी भी पढ़ना है, इंग्लिश भी पढ़ना है, सेकेंड लैंग्वेज जो भी होगी आपकी वो भी पढ़ना है, सब पढ़ना है ना? ठीक है। नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज विच सर्किट शोज करेक्ट एंड सेफ पोजिशंस फॉर द फ्यूज एंड स्विच। तो यहां पे 2 वायर दिख रही है, लाइव वायर, सब जगह पे देयर इज अ लाइव वायर, एंड देयर इज अनदर वायर, देयर इज अ न्यूट्रल वायर। मैं ऐसे मार्क कर रहा हूं, न्यूट्रल वायर, है ना? तो अभी आप मुझे बताओ, ये जो फ्यूज है, फ्यूज का पर्पस क्या होता है? व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ द फ्यूज? टू प्रोटेक्ट द डिवाइस। देयर इज आवर डिवाइस हियर, करेक्ट? So we want to protect the bulb. That's why we use a fuse. So fuse, where will you keep? In the neutral wire or in the live wire? Live wire is always on. So I'll write here, live wire always on. और जो neutral होती है, it is off. कब तक ऑफ होगी? जब तक स्विच आपका ऑफ है। There is a switch. जब तक स्विच ऑफ है, लाइव वायर, न्यूट्रल वायर ऑफ रहेगी। बट लाइव वायर यू कैन टर्न ऑन द स्विच और टर्न ऑफ द स्विच। लाइव वायर इज ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी ऑन, सो दैट्स व्हाई द स्विच should be placed on the live wire. So here the switch is on the neutral wire, so this is wrong because this is not the correct way. Here also switch is in the neutral wire. So this is wrong. Here this switch is correct. Okay. So now the fuse, क्या आपको दिख रहा है फ्यूज? फ्यूज भी हमेशा लाइव वायर में लगाते हैं, है ना? तो यहां पे फ्यूज लाइव वायर में है. So this is correct. This fuse is correct. This fuse is correct. But the switch is not correct. Here the fuse is wrong. Here fuse location is wrong. So this diagram is also wrong. So which one is the correct diagram? It is our option number A. Both the fuse and the switch should be on the live wire. Live wire में हमेशा fuse और switch दोनों को होना चाहिए. ठीक है? Yes, Saurav, correct. Nice. So अभी तक these were the questions. Okay, one more question. So these were the like single option correct MCQs. So now there are few questions which are like assertion reason type questions. Okay, तो यहाँ पे एक sentence ऐसा है. Okay, so one is assertion and another is reason. So here there is assertion, this one is reason. तो इनमें से पहले तो देखना है आपको कौन सा करेक्ट है कौन सा रॉन्ग है. So let's read the assertion. A stationary charged particle placed in a magnetic field experience force. अगर कोई भी stationary charged particle है, if it is present in the magnetic field, let's suppose there is a magnetic field, something like this, there is a magnetic field. So can the magnetic field affect the stationary charge? No. So the reason is, assertion is wrong. Magnetic field can only affect charges when they are moving or if there is a current. अगर या तो करंट होना चाहिए सर्किट में या फिर चार्जेस मूव करने होने चाहिए. अगर दोनों गलत, मतलब अगर सिर्फ स्टेशनरी चार्ज है which is not moving, then magnetic field का कुछ अफेक्ट नहीं होगा इस पर. So the assertion is wrong. How it reason? Stationary charge particle does not produce magnetic field. Okay, तो stationary charge जो होते हैं they do not produce magnetic field. Reason is correct है ना? जब कोई stationary charge होता है it does not produce magnetic field. So now which one is correct? Both A and R true, this is not correct. Both A are true, not correct. A is true, this is not correct. Yeah, A is false but R is true. So option D is correct. Which wire used in fuse? So fuse is placed in the, so you remember here fuse is placed in the live wire. Live wire में ही हमेशा दोनों fuse भी होता है, fuse and switch both should be on the live wire and not on the neutral wire. Okay, चलो. So these were the section A. Section A क्या होगा? Questions बहुत difficult नहीं होंगे बट ट्रिकी होंगे और आपको MCQs है तो जल्दी जल्दी में मत करो. टेक योर टाइम, अंडरस्टैंड, रीड द क्वेश्चन प्रॉपर्ली एंड देन सॉल्व. ओके, नाउ लेट्स गो टू द सेक्शन बी. तो चलो देखते हैं सेक्शन बी में क्या है. सो सेक्शन बी, दीज आर लाइक 2 मार्क क्वेश्चंस है. तो उसमें सब क्वेश्चंस होंगे, तो सब क्वेश्चन के आंसर के ऊपर आपको मार्क्स मिलेंगे. For example, there is a question, so it is this, either this question or this question. Either you solve the above question or you solve the below question. ठीक है, दोनों सॉल्व नहीं करना है, दोनों सॉल्व करते मत बैठो क्योंकि otherwise you won't have time. White light passes through the prism, yield a spectrum. हमें पता है राइट? अगर कोई प्रिज्म है, if there is a prism, if there is a white light passes through the prism, then these 7 colors which is called as spectrum is formed, and the first one is red, last one is violet. So there is like a 7 colors of the rainbow and this one is the direction of our incident ray, है ना? So this is the first statement. The ray of which color will show maximum angle of deviation and which one will show least angle of deviation. तो हमने ये देखा था जब हम रिवाइज कर रहे थे. तो यहां पे एंगल ऑफ डेविएशन कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं? this is the angle of deviation for red. There is a red color, there is a violet color. So there is an angle of deviation for the violet color. So which angle is more? For the violet color, it has a maximum angle of deviation, है ना? And red color के लिए minimum angle of deviation. So maximum angle किसके लिए होगा? Maximum angle of deviation is for the violet color and minimum would be for the, or least angle would be for the red, है ना? ठीक है? Now the second one, blue colored ray passes through the glass prism. तो अभी white light नहीं जा रही है. So let's draw here. Let's suppose there is a prism and this one is a blue color, just single blue color. So now when it falls onto the prism, it will go without any dispersion. There is a refraction. मतलब light bend हो रही है. Light bend हो रही है ना? दिख रहा है आपको? There is the incident ray. So there is a bending of light. Okay, incident ray will not be, it will be dotted line. So this would be the direction of incident ray, है ना? Light bend हो रही है, दिख रहा है आपको? At both the location, light is bending. So there is a refraction, but there is no dispersion. Dispersion क्यों नहीं होगा? Because this just a one color, it will not split further, है ना? इसकी वजह से dispersion नहीं होगा. Okay. So what will be the color of the emergent ray? So the emergent ray जो होगा, this will be blue color. If there is a blue, this one is also blue color. And now justify your answer. Justification is that blue color will not split further. There is a single color, so it will not split further. That is why the emergent ray is blue color, है ना? चलो, okay. So now there is a or. So let's solve this also. Myopia is known as near sightedness. So near sightedness क्या होता है? Near objects visible, far objects not visible. That is the meaning of near sightedness. A person with this defect has a far point nearer than infinity. तो जो far point होता है, for the normal people, far point is infinity. They can see any object until infinity. But if a person has myopia, the far point is nearer. So let's suppose far point is 1 meter or 4 meters, 10 meters. So a person will not be able to see any object which is placed beyond 4 meter. Huh? So that is the meaning of far point is nearer than infinity. Draw neat ray diagram to depict image of the correction for the myopia. Okay, so now in myopia what happens? There is a eye lens, eyeball. So eyeball is elongated, है ना? तो यहाँ पे अपना क्या होगा? There is a lens, eye lens. So now these are the incident rays coming from an object which is at infinity. They will fall on the cornea and from the cornea they will bend. So they will bend and image is formed at this location. So image is formed in front of the retina, correct? This is a myopic eye. Now we have to correct it. So there is again bulged eye, there is a lens, है ना? So again we are going to draw the rays which are coming from the object which is kept at infinity. So now we need to use a correcting lens here. So which lens will you use? Will you use concave or convex? Yes, we'll use a concave lens. So this is the concave lens. Why? Because you see image is formed before the retina. So we need to diverge the rays little bit so that the image will now form on the retina. So these rays, they will diverge a little bit. Something like this. Can you see little bit diversion? But this divergence is enough so that so these rays, they will form the image on the retina. Understood? So you can write down, so this is the object at infinity, this is the object at infinity. So there is a concave lens and this is our eye lens, eye lens. There is an image. So there is a point size image. Why it is point size? Because the object is at infinity. So whenever object is at infinity, image is going to be point size. So this is how you need to draw the ray diagrams. And when this is neat, that means you have to write down all the names. What are the important property, important things which you mention? The object at infinity, concave lens, which is a correcting lens. There is an eye, there is a cornea through which the light bends, and there is an image. Image is formed on the retina. So if you give all these four, for each one of them, they will give you 0.5 marks. So total, you will get the 2 marks. Okay, great. So now let's go to the section C. I think I will not be able to do section D and E today, but let's see. So there are 3 questions on section C, in section C. Out of 7, 3 are for physics. So let's solve those. First question, you see, if you see a question, such a lengthy question, don't get scared. It is like a human tendency. If you see a long paragraph, first thing that comes to our mind is we get scared. Don't get scared. Read it carefully. Okay, so let's do that. So object of height h. So there is an object of height h. I guess there is the same diagram for this. Kept at a point P. Yes, there is a point P and there is an object of height h in front of a mirror. So there is which type of mirror? There is a concave mirror. Concave mirror. There is a height h. Okay. As shown in the figure below, height of the image produces h prime. So now this object is between center of curvature and focus. If the object is between center of curvature and focus, can you tell me where will be the image? When the object is in between these two, this is going to be image. And height of the image is h prime. Okay, so this is going to be magnified image. So I can write here h prime is greater than h. Height of the image is greater because there is a magnified image. So now if the object is now moved to point C, so I'll use different color. So let's suppose the object is moved to center of curvature, right? There is the object now. New position for the object. For object. So if you place the object at center of curvature, image will also form at the center of curvature. There is an image. Yes? So what is the question? Will the height of the image now produced? So there is a height of the image produced be less than, equal to, or greater than h prime. What is h prime? H prime is the image, height of the image in the earlier part. So now at this image is same as h. There is h, so this is also h. But we have to compare between h prime and h. So we know this h prime is greater than h. So will the height of the image now produced less than, equal to, greater than h prime? So it would be less than h prime. So what is h prime? H prime is the height of the image in the first paragraph. Okay, in this paragraph they have mentioned about h prime. So you have to compare with this h prime and the h. H is the new height. Okay, but inverted, yes. So here they have just given the length or distance. Do you remember? Length and distance, they are like a scalar quantity. So if they are scalar, that means they have only magnitude. So in this problem, in this particular question, we do not consider the sign convention. Okay, whenever you say measure only length or distance, so these are scalars. Vectors, when you consider the vector, then you have to consider the sign convention. Okay, now give the reason for your answer. So what is the reason? Reason is, when you place the object at center of curvature, image height is same as object height. But in the earlier one, when you keep the object between center of curvature and focus, this image height h prime is enlarged. So h prime is greater than h. So that is the reason for the question. So now next question is, if the focal length of the mirror is 20 centimeter. So let's redraw this. I guess we need to. Okay. So if the focal length is given as, focal length was how much? 20 centimeter. So there is a concave mirror. So focal length is going to be minus 20 centimeter. Okay. And the distance between point P and C is 10. So this distance is 10. This distance is 10. So okay, I'll draw this diagram here. There is a concave mirror. There is our focus. There is a center of curvature C, and this was point P. Correct? The focal length, there is a, let's say, pole. This distance is given as 20 centimeter. And distance between C and F, this is also equal to 20 centimeter. Why? Because this total distance is 2 times F. So this distance between C and F is also 20 centimeter. And what it was given is distance between P and C is 10. So between P and C is 10 centimeter. So what will be this total distance? This total distance is going to be 30 centimeter. So I am talking about distance. So that is why I have written all of them as positive. Okay. So there is a 30 centimeter. But what is this distance? There is our U. So now I have to correct the sign convention. This is on the left. From the pole, we are measuring on the left. So this is going to be minus 30 centimeter. There is a U, which is the object distance. Okay. Sorry. Determine the distance between image produced when the object is kept at P and C. Distance between images produced. Okay, so now this is the, sorry. So if you keep the U as 30, find V. That would be, let's say, V1. And so I can remove this, right? Okay, let's erase that. And there is one more question. So the focal length is going to be same. Focal length is minus 20 centimeter and U is going to be minus 40 centimeter. That means the object is at center of curvature. So you know, when you place the object at center of curvature, V is also going to be minus 40 centimeter. So image is produced at center of curvature. Correct? We know this. So for this, we need to calculate the V. So how will you calculate the V? So we know the mirror formula or mirror equation, which is 1 by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. So 1 by V is 1 by F minus 1 by U. So substitute the values. What is F? F is minus 20. So 1 by minus 20 minus 1 by U is minus 30. So this will be positive. So 1 by V is going to be, LCM is 60 here. So this is minus how much? Minus 3 plus 2, which is minus 1 by 60. Correct? So V is going to be minus 60 centimeter. So when you place the object at P, determine the distances between the images produced when the object is at P and C. So when the object is at, so object at P, when you place the object at P, the image is at minus 60 centimeter. Okay, and when the object at center of curvature, image is also at center of curvature. Okay, so this is how you need to solve. Clear? Okay, great. You got, somebody got plus 12. So just careful about, you see here, this is going to be enlarged image, right? It is much further than C, which is the center of curvature. Center of curvature is 40. So our V should be greater than 40. The magnitude of image V should be greater than 40, which is 60 centimeter. Okay, let's solve one more question and then we'll stop. Just solve this and then we'll stop. A lens form blurred image of an object on the screen. So you see there is a screen and it is forming a blurred image. So now why the image is blurred? Because this is a point where these rays, they are meeting. There is an object. So screen should be at this location. Then only you will get a sharp image. So now it is a blurred image of an object on the screen as shown below. What changes can you make to the following together? Sharp and in focus image on the screen. So either you move the screen, keep the object and lens same, you move the screen. So what you are doing? You are decreasing the V. That is one thing. But they have not asked that. What they have asked, either move the object distance or focal length. So how will you change the object distance? There is an object distance. So if you bring, there is a convex lens or the converging lens, correct? So now when you bring the object closer, what will happen? This will shift. When, do you remember for the convex lens, object at infinity, then image will form at the focus. So when you bring the object closer and closer to the lens, image will move further away. You want to move this image from here to on the screen. So what will, this is the object distance U. So what should you do with the object distance? Reduce. You need to reduce or decrease the object distance. You reduce this object distance, move the object closer to the lens, so the image will move away from the lens. So there is a first one. How is the second one? Focal length of the lens. So now there is a converging lens. Do you remember power of the lens? Okay, I'll explain you here. If this is a lens and let's suppose this is the focal length F, correct? So now these are the incident rays, they will converge at this point. There is a focal length and there is, let's say, another lens which is very thin lens. So if these are the incident rays, they will get converged at a longer distance. So this is going to be the focal length. So larger focal length, so the convergence is lesser. So the lens will be able to converge after long distance. Okay. So now here this convex lens is converging the rays at this point. We want the convergence to happen after certain distance. So what you should do is, yes, 1 by F is power, correct? So what you should do is increase the focal length. If you increase the focal length, that means you are reducing the power of the lens. So the convergence will happen after certain time. So that is the answer, increase the focal length. Okay, this was question A and now we have another question here from B. Okay, so let's solve that. Sunita's ophthalmologist. So do you know what is ophthalmologist? A doctor. Let's suppose if you have some problem with your eye, some eye defect, you go to a doctor that is called as ophthalmologist, eye doctor. Okay, suggest her to use a lens of power -2 diopter to correct her vision. So now let's write down power of the lens given is -2 diopter. Okay, so now what type of lens should she use? There is a negative -2, there is a negative power. So what type of lens it is? There is a concave lens. Okay, there is an answer for the first one. What should be the focal length of the lens? So we know P is equal to 1 by F, or F is equal to 1 by P. What is power? -2 diopter, which is so this is 1 by -2 diopter. So this will be -0.5, and this is in meters. So focal length is -0.5 meters, or focal length is -50 centimeters. Okay, so there is a second question, answer for it. Focal length is -50 centimeter. And the third one, object is kept at 10 centimeter in front of the lens. The power of the lens is -2 diopter. So we have already checked the focal length is -50. So I will do it here. Focal length is given as -50 centimeter. Object is kept 10 centimeter in front of the lens. So U is -10 centimeter. Okay, and what was the question? Find the distance where image is produced. So now, you know how will it produced? We have the convex lens. The focal length is 50. So let's suppose this is f1 and f2. So object is kept here. There is an object. So is it going to form a real image or a virtual image? This will form a virtual and erect image. So somewhere here, let's suppose there is a image, virtual image and magnified image. Okay, so we have to calculate what is V. So how will you find? So we know the lens equation, 1 by V minus 1 by U is 1 by F. So 1 by V is how much? 1 by V is 1 by F. Sorry, there is a convex lens. So the focal length is positive. Sorry, it is negative. This is not a convex lens. My bad. There is a concave lens. There is a concave lens. There is an object here. This location. Okay. So it is going to form the diminished image. Focal length is minus. Focal length is given as -50. Okay, there is a focal length -50. So let's solve this. 1 by F plus 1 by U. So what is 1 by F? 1 by -50 plus what is 1 by U? U is -10. So LCM is 50. There is -1 minus 5, which is -6 by 50. So there is 1 by V. So what is V? V is -50 by 6. This would be in centimeters. So this will come out to be -8.3 centimeters. Okay. So this is the point where image is going to form. Yes, it is a concave lens. I got confused with this. This was the earlier question. Okay, this was the earlier question. So I got confused with this. So here we have the concave lens. We have the concave lens and focal length is -50 centimeter. Okay, substitute these values, you get the V, which is -8.3 centimeter. So the image is produced at -8.3 centimeter. So somewhere in between the object and this is going to be image. Okay. Alright, so that's it for today. So whatever is left, we'll cover it in the next class. Alright, thank you so much. Bye bye. Any questions, any doubts, anyone? Okay then, bye bye. See you guys.
upon minus a plus b plus c, comma minus a y1 plus b